welcome back, sir. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Kennedy. The only thing you left out of that story is 2 of the federal agents went to prison.
They were convicted. They went to the Hooskow, and we don't know exactly what they did illegally and how that put Ross away. Thank you for that clarification. Very good.
Well, that's just one thing that I would add. But look, this is the greatest violation of the 8th Amendment that I'm aware of in the United States today. It's a prohibition on the federal government on exacting cruel and unusual punishment. Mm-hmm. Ross Ulbricht, what he did from a computer screen does not deserve 2 life sentences plus 40 years without the chance of parole. That's ridiculous. That's over-sentencing. And what they really wanted to do at the time, if you take yourself back to 2011 and when all this was happening, Bitcoin was an illicit substance in itself. The federal government was afraid of Bitcoin, and honestly, I think they still are, but they were afraid of Bitcoin, and they wanted to make an example out of somebody. So they picked 26-year-old Ross to make an example out of him, and they exacted cruel and unusual punishment. And one thing that's different from Snowden and Julian Assange, which I believe they should get a pardon, is that Ross has already done 7 years in prison.
Yes.
Okay, he served time. He's not even really asking for a pardon. He would just like clemency, like reduce his sentence to time served, which would be a reasonable sentence for those things, because the people who committed those crimes on the website, like he created a website, people went on that website, did illegal things. If you added all of their sentences together, they wouldn't equal Ross's sentence.
That's absolutely true. And there were people, it's like he created this place and then other people came to this place. And it's like if you're a club owner and you're just having a great time and there are people inside selling drugs and doing things with their fingers, should you be the one sent to jail? No, but arguably neither should they. But that's a different story for a different time. So what are you hearing? Because I know you speak to members of the president's inner circle. What are you hearing about Ross and his name and his case mentioned? And is there receptivity within this administration?
I think there's receptivity there, and I think there's a good chance this could happen. I think it absolutely needs to happen. People do have the president's ear on this one, and there's nobody more deserving of clemency than Ross Ulbricht in this case. And he was a first-time offender, hadn't committed a crime before, 26 years old. This guy should not rot in jail and die there. He deserves a second chance. He's not even saying, pardon me, that I'm totally innocent. He's just saying, and people like me are saying, this is cruel and unusual punishment to put him away for 2 life sentences plus 40 years without chance of parole.
Yes, it really doesn't meet the crime, particularly when the things that he was sentenced for the most harshly, those were dropped. He wasn't even convicted of those things, and then the charges were later dropped. It is so asinine, and I understand that you are also co-sponsoring legislation with Tulsi Gabbard. Quickly tell me about that.